Welcome to Bell Peppers and Beef, a Cowboy Bebop podcast. This week we're talking about Session 21, Boogie Woogie Feng Shui. I'm Paul.
Justin.
And Dave.
Alright, what happened in this episode, Dave?
Well, Jet gets a letter from an old friend of his, kind of giving him weird, cryptic information, and it piques his interest, so he tries to figure out what the heck's going on.
So I guess he tries to meet up with the guy, but he finds out, oh hey, here's his tombstone. I guess he's no longer in this world.
Yeah. And then this dude's daughter comes along to save Jet as they're getting shot at. And she has some... She has this stupid golden magic gimmick.
It's essentially just a piece of wood that has a couple little spiral things that allows it to spin and a magnet in the middle.
Oh, I assumed it was like a metal or something, but okay.
No, magnet.
Okay.
Yeah, it does explain that it is a magnet.
Well, I knew that. I just thought like the rings and stuff were made of metal.
Oh.
Anyway, that's not really important.
Yeah.
So then they get chased through the graveyard, and they escape.
No.
And we find out that they're basically going to end up looking for something called the Sunstone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bring up something that I was not a fan of.
The fact that Feng Shui was the thing?
Universal Feng Shui.
Ah.
They try to tell me that Feng Shui is science.
Oh, you don't like this mumbo-jumbo being actual factual in this universe?
No, I don't.
Well, too bad.
Or if... Okay, here's the other alternative I would have accepted. If they didn't call it a science... If they just said it was like based on a religion or faith or whatever, fine, I'll go with it. The minute you call it science, it frustrates me.
I think that's kind of the thing I sort of took it as. Yeah, there was science and whatnot around it, but it was more so the typical science of all the particular things that they were talking about, not so much this particular religious thing is science. Because I think plenty enough people have already been burned by something like that.
Anyway, we'll move past that.
Blah.
It didn't bother me that much, it's just... Anyway.
Then we can get to the other particular thing that definitely bothered me in the episode.
Was it Jet being awkward?
No, Jet kind of best explains that himself. But no, in my case, Jet meets up with this girl, who we later find out is the daughter of the person he knew, and Jet knew this, and he's just doing this out of the kindness of his own heart and trying to figure things out. Well, Spike and Faye think it's some sort of bloody stupid relationship thing. It's just... ugh.
So then they deploy the Edward to ask, are you his girlfriend? Or something like that. And it's like, well, not really.
Deploy the Edward!
Well, I don't know how else you really want to explain it as.
Yeah.
You make it sound like it's like a war crime. Which, fair enough, it might be. Okay, what happened after that, Dave?
After that was the ice cream scene.
Yes, and Jet being awkward.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Open mouth, insert foot.
I could be old enough to be or young enough to be your boyfriend. Ice cream.
Yeah, I love the ice cream part where he's just like, oh shit. Ah.
I'm amazed he never got brain freeze for eating all that ice cream how he did.
Yeah, that was odd.
I mean, seriously, that one other guy in the past episode just had a couple quick bites of shaved ice and gave him brain freeze.
Yeah, well, Jet's got the mechanical arm. Maybe that does something to his brain so he doesn't get brain freeze.
How does that work?
That's not how that
Well,
works.
I'm coming up with solutions.
Yes.
It would have to be wired into his brain, which would change how his brain functions, at least to some degree.
Dude, even with that sort of particular stuff, it's the nerve endings that would affect it.
I'm making up bullshit to explain it.
It's not going to explain it.
I know it's not.
And besides, it's just a minor point anyways.
But if they can call feng shui science, I can make up this bullshit too.
Whatever.
Horoscopes are based on 100% science.
According to Weird Al.
So anywho, after that event, they go around and succeed in finding the Sunstone, but also succeed in getting tailed by the guys that were chasing after them. So, sneaking into a bar, grabbing a bottle, and interrogating the guys, Jet's got the one in a headlock and trying to get information out of him when we happen to hear a nice little cracking noise as he lets the guy go.
Jesus, he murdered him.
I was kind of like, dude, I think you kind of killed him. Oh, we gotta...
Jesus.
Like, seriously, was that not supposed to be in there, or did you knock him out, or...
No,
Why?
he snapped his neck. That's the implication.
And then the kids go mug him.
Well, can't grieve forever.
Yeah.
Take his cool glasses and whatnot.
Yeah.
So there's this really great sequence where Jet, and I didn't catch her name, but where they're walking, it's on like a boardwalk or something by the water.
Yeah.
And it's just fantastic. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And we find out that her dad was in the mob.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
so from this episode, we basically learned that once you're in a syndicate, you basically cannot leave with your life.
Yeah.
yes.
So that's like the one main thing that you can take out from this episode, and it can be applied to the series.
Yeah.
So Powell constructed this elaborate, nonsensical plan to get his daughter to go out into the middle of fucking space.
Yep.
So that he could have a last conversation with her.
Yeah.
Yep. Which was his own fault for being too dumb about it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have put it any simpler, really. Just make it as vague as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Powell ends up dying,
Yeah.
and that more or less is the end of the episode, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Just the fact that his daughter got the chance to see him, and say her particular feelings to him. Just get a last couple words in, but no, that pretty much finishes up. It also got that musical cue.
What musical cue?
The sad, something bad supposedly happened musical cue of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. Alright, Justin, do you have anything to add?
Not really anything.
David.
Honestly, all the particular things that they were searching for as the couple of four gods was definitely a bit of a stretch. Aside from the snake one, that was decent.
Yeah, the
Where they stand on the top of the building.
yeah, and
look
they
at-
look
yeah.
in different directions.
Meh.
I didn't hate that. I hate the whole feng shui nonsense.
All the fact that one energy is the sun, one energy is the earth, and then all the rest of us are all the other energy of the third part. It actually reminded me not so much of Japanese, but more of a, I believe, Chinese sort of idea of heaven, earth, and the human body sort of connecting and those sorts of things. But yeah, like actual feng shui sort of stuff. It honestly seemed to go into kind of a martial arts sort of thing. But again, yeah, I might have been mixing up points. But yeah, I mostly just sort of separated to here's the sciencey stuff, here's the faith stuff. They're kind of separate within my head. It's kind of ridiculous and silly, but this is also an anime, so...
And don't try and mix them together, Paul. It will not work in your head.
But they do. I'm not the one doing it. They call it science. And it's demonstrably not. That's my biggest problem. Anyway, Justin, what did you think of this episode overall?
It does give Jet a reason to have a girlfriend or have a potential girlfriend moment, but it's not really anything that goes anywhere either. I got nothing too much on that, really.
Alright, David.
As it sort of sits on the whole, it kind of hits the whole spectrum of things. There's some nice moments, there's some couple cringy moments, and there's some feelingful moments in all of the things. As it sort of sits, I definitely would say that this is a bit more of a filler episode, but on the whole, it's definitely one that I enjoyed watching with the story that was focused more with Jet and just how the story sort of panned out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I would probably give this about a 7. I enjoyed watching it. Yeah, I have issues with them calling feng shui science. But I'm willing to let that go while I'm watching the episode. So I thought it was quite enjoyable. Do you have any last minute thoughts, Justin?
No, I don't really have any other thoughts.
David, last minute thoughts.
Seriously, Spike and Faye just need to get a smack. But of course, with them smoking, they got booted out of the ship to smoke
Oh yeah,
outside.
the non-smoking area, or the smoking area became a non-smoking area, and at the end of the episode, it just reverted back. And now, for some reason, Jet doesn't read horoscopes anymore because fuck that.
The
Well, at least he learned a valuable lesson at the end. Stop calling feng shui fucking science.
Too bad.
Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this week. I'm Paul.
Justin.
and Dave.